welcome back to the channel and back to the Artist Way series. I have the book with me. I have my journal with me, but I actually haven't written down my check-in yet, so I didn't need to have my journal with me. Today, we are getting into chapter 11. Almost at the end of the book, you guys. I feel good about coming to the end. I feel like in the past couple of weeks, I've had some fear about this ending and some fear about whether or not I feel like I've changed enough and really like gotten the most out of the program. But now, I think I'm in a good place. I'm going to have to reflect on it more later after I like totally finish. I feel like the era I'm in right now is very like working, very like productivity and like grinding. And that is something that came about in these last 11 weeks. Part of me wants to say it's not totally the influence of the book, because I'm thinking of like the other things that have been happening that I would say probably influence that more. But I feel like I was even open to those things because I was sort of committing to this. And committing is the word that I have been recurrently using. Because, you know, that's what I called my first like episode 0. Posting that to be like, okay, now that I've done this, I will have to do a check-in for every week. I think that got me into the headspace of like, this is grind time. So, all right, I'll give Julia that. This chapter seemed very different to me than the others. It starts with a sort of first-person stream of consciousness essay. I'm trying to pick like a section of it to read because I feel like I don't know how to describe it. You know what? Here goes the first paragraph. The title is Acceptance, and I'm unsure about that, but it goes, I am an artist. As an artist, I may need a different mix of stability and flow from other people. I may find that a 9-to-5 job steadies me and leaves me freer to create, or I may find that a 9-to-5 drains me of energy and leaves me unable to create. I must experiment with what works for me. So, like, not bad. And this is, like, 3.5 pages. So it's not anything that's... So it's stuff that's, like, okay, interesting, relatable, but it's... The vibe of it felt like I was eavesdropping almost on someone else's thoughts, whereas the vibe of the rest of the book is sort of like Julia Cameron is talking to me, which maybe you could tell from the way that I talk about Julia when I'm doing these check-ins, like we have a relationship. The rest of the book is very like... I won't say it's not exactly first person, but of course Julia Cameron does refer to herself as like I, me. And, you know, events in her life, like, you know, when I did this and when I was working on that. But the rest of the book is a little more like straightforward and conversational. This essay just felt very separate from the rest of the book, which might not be coming through even in just that little excerpt. So on one hand, I was like confused, but on the other hand, I feel like it kind of like snapped me out of it when it comes to that sort of like drudged down feeling that I was having with how the book was going. So I feel like that kind of like woke me up a little bit because I wasn't feeling too great about the past couple of weeks. I wasn't looking forward to doing the reading. So that definitely caught my attention in a way. Then it goes back to normal. The next section is about commercial success, and particularly the idea that if you find success in doing one thing, balancing your creative fulfillment with profitability and if you are a working artist, you become a business owner. And when I like realized that for the first time, I like legitimately cried. So it's about not allowing stagnation for the sake of profitability because you know one idea or one technique or one theme that you work in can sell a lot and make a living for yourself, to the point where you become afraid to take risks and experiment with your creativity because one thing is a sure thing and doing something new might not be a sure thing. I think it's good advice and a good reminder because I definitely was, no shade, thinking of a certain person or a few people who have had this problem and had to work through it. Or there's one person who I know who like had to shut down everything and was just like, I'll be back. See ya, but I'm not happy with my artwork right now. I'm just doing what I know I can get clicks for, and that's not enjoyable for me. And like, much respect to them for doing that because it is hard to be to know you can get the positive validation and the clicks and the money, heavy on the money, from doing just one thing, and but know that it's holding you back in an artistic sense. The next section was sort of oddly enough about exercise, and I don't think it's wrong. I don't think, like, I definitely agree that finding a type of exercise or movement or sport that you really like to do is beneficial, mentally. I think the 90s kind of jumped out in this section where it was specifically not talking about weight, but weight would slide its way into this section. It was about the like mental and more spiritual benefits of exercise and movement, which like great. I totally agree that it's important to exercise and do exercises you enjoy doing. For the task this week, there was actually a list of 10 again. I had mentioned previously how as the chapters went on, there were less options for tasks. And then this week, suddenly, there were 10. A lot of them were about change, how you have changed since, the beginning, and how you plan to change in the future or push towards change in the future. And then the other theme of the week's tasks was the synchronicities and the more spiritual side of things. I was not super invigorated by the tasks this week. I picked out 5 to do, and I only did 3. I did 4 actually. Let me check that off. There was one I kept putting off, and it was list 5 ways you plan to nurture yourself in the next 6 months. Courses you will take, supplies you will allow yourself, artist dates, and vacations just for you. My thing is, it's hard for me to plan. I was like, oh yeah, I do want to take a class this upcoming year, because every year I want to take some kind of professionally guided class and learn something new. And I just basically decided I'm done with swimming, and that was my whole year last year. I might go back to swimming in the spring or the summer, but I was not feeling it to do another winter swimming course. Swimming wore me out. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I need some time to think about all of these things. Making plans for the semi-distant future is very hard for me, and I don't like to do it. Sometimes even I'll look at my schedule on like a Sunday night and think about planning my week, and I look at the like upcoming Saturday, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's too much. That's too far ahead. I can't think about that. I'll take the L on that one, but I did 4 other tasks that I feel good about. Okay, so time for the check-in proper. I did do my morning pages every day this week. There was one day where I forgot my journal, and I ended up doing my pages in a different book, which, fine. The experience of morning pages for me has been, I want to say overall neutral. I do think there's a positive aspect to it. Especially at the beginning, I feel like it really helped me clear out a certain block. And that I was really excited about. I like journaling every day. I wonder if I would prefer, because of my schedule, that's really the only thing that I have not liked about morning pages, is an ideal day for me that includes morning pages means waking up at 5 a.m., turning on my phone flashlight, and writing half asleep in my bed. And I don't like that. If I could wake up naturally and had, if I had more time in the morning, it's just like, I'm so tired. And getting to work by a certain time is pretty important for me. But if I had a less tight schedule, or I could go to work a little bit later, which technically I could, but the traffic isn't worth it. But in that case, I don't think there would be any negative to me to doing morning pages. When it comes to like positives, I don't think I've had an extremely overwhelmingly positive experience to the point where I would be like, everyone has to do morning pages. Morning pages are the secret. Morning pages are the solution to everything. Morning pages are the most important thing you could possibly do. I don't think so. I do think it can be helpful for just getting rid of like clutter, or straightening out ideas. Like sometimes your brain is just full of clutter, or you wake up mad. If you're like me, you wake up mad sometimes. And if you can just like put it somewhere, it frees up some brain space. I think that's very valuable. But I don't like exalt morning pages. I would say if you are doing the artist's way, do the morning pages because they're part of the process. I feel like in general, if you're doing the artist's way, just follow the rules. Do the stuff. Don't do it halfway. Try to like, I know there's, like I just said, I skipped one of my tasks. And, things happen. But try your very best to do it in its fullest. So in that sense, I would recommend morning pages. But if somebody asked me, like, what's a really important part of your creative process, I wouldn't say morning pages. For my artist date, let's see. I, this morning, actually had another massage. And my first massage, because I'd never experienced it before, I was kind of like, it wasn't that good. I didn't end up that relaxed. I I was thinking about it too much. But this time, because I knew more of the process and what was going to happen and what it felt like, I was able to relax a lot more. And I'm really glad I went. I When I finished the first one, the massage therapist suggested I come back in 2 weeks because I had a specific issue that I was targeting. And I was just like, okay, for financial reasons, I will not be having another massage in 2 weeks. But I am glad that I had this one because I feel like it really helped me and I really enjoyed it. And I got to be very like deeply relaxed. The thing though with having a morning massage and then going to do the rest of the day is I get super relaxed and then I have the whole day to stress me out again. But it's fine. It's fine. Synchronicities. This is always the one where I'm like, I'm not feeling it. And the thing is, I have tried in the past to keep track of or write down the synchronicities when I see them or when I like feel them. But I just feel like I haven't seen anything significant enough to catch my attention, which is kind of a bummer because I love the idea of synchronicities and I'm excited to experience them. Maybe there are things happening now that I will look back on in a few months and be like, oh my God, that was such a synchronicity. But for now, I can't worry about the synchronicities. And any other issues? You know what? One thing that's an issue for me is my Google Photos storage, where all these videos go. It is crying. I'm stuck in a place where it's like, okay, I download this video, I can delete it, and then like immediately I have to film another video to do the check-ins, which I like doing. I like doing them. I like being here, but I can't catch a break from the storage almost full warnings. But at the same time, I'm coming to the end of this. I'll have some time to like catch up on all my editing. And then when everything's safely backed up, I can delete all these videos. And hopefully get more like breathing room because oh my gosh. Part of it honestly is I need to have some faith in my backup because I download the videos, but I don't want to delete them until they're edited and up because these are things like these check-ins are things I can't refilm. I'm like right now, I've only uploaded up to like week 5. So if something happens to week 7, I'm not in the headspace that I was in week 7 to be able to describe what my experience is. And, it's the authenticity. Like, I could look at my check-ins, but it's not the same. Okay, so that's going to be it for me. This was a very sleepy check-in. I'm quite exhausted. So next week, it's the final chapter. This one is called Recovering a Sense of Faith. Let's get a preview. In this final week, we acknowledge the inherently mysterious spiritual heart of creativity. We address the fact that creativity requires receptivity and profound trust, capacities we have developed through our work in this course. We set our creative aims and take a special look at last-minute sabotage. We renew our commitment to the use of the tools. Okay. I guess I'll talk about it more next week, what I want to carry through and continue to do in my daily life. If I want to be doing morning pages every day, if I want to be doing an artist date every week. Like the video if you like the video. Comment in the comments if you have something to say. And if you want to, you can subscribe. Alright, bye.